Welcome back, deep divers. Today, we are going to untangle some global entertainment trends, and we've got some really interesting stuff from Further and Better's Global TV, Film and Media Industry News for March 5th, 2025.
Lots to unpack.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about everything from the fall of pilot season to, like, AI dating shows, a possible Crazy Rich Asians TV series.
Oh, wow.
And even, get this, a documentary about octopuses.
I mean, it's kind of wild how all of these things seem so different, but they're all, kind of connected to this huge shift that's happening in entertainment right now.
That's right, with technology, how people are watching things, and, the search for a good story never ends.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to give you the knowledge to really understand how all of this is impacting the entertainment you love.
Exactly. And, maybe even spot some up-and-coming trends.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So let's get started with television. This article called Broadcast TV Pilot Season 2025, Sparse Orders Amid Industry Shifts is kind of a bummer for traditional pilot season.
Yeah, sounds like networks are going more for like spin-offs and those straight-to-series orders.
Right.
It really says something about the financial pressure on networks. Streaming is changing everything, and the decline in, traditional TV viewership is making these networks, well, they have to adapt.
It makes you wonder, did this mean the end of the pilot? I mean, some of the biggest hits lately did start as standalone pilots.
Right. Shows like Tracker on CBS and High Potential on ABC, they kind of went against the trend. Makes you think, what's the role of pilot going to be going forward?
Yeah, it seems like recognizable IP is like the big thing. This article, Network Scripted TV Scorecard 2025, Renewals, Cancellations, and New Orders, says that tons of spinoffs are in the works for the 2025-26 season.
And this isn't just an American thing. In Poland, they are bringing back this talent show, Must Be the Music, after like almost a decade off the air. Revivals and reboots, it's a worldwide trend, Nostalgia and built-in fans, it's a powerful combo.
Right. In a world with so many choices, familiarity it's comfortable.
Yeah.
So the big question is, can networks keep up with streaming? What do you think?
Well, they definitely have some advantages. Like, they're familiar, they have their systems in place, and they can reach a lot of people. I think the key is, can they adapt and offer something new, something that streaming doesn't have?
Interesting. Okay, let's talk about something that is new, short-form content. This article, China's iQIYI pivots to industrialized mini-dramas as demand for short-form grows, says that, get this, mini-dramas are super popular in China.
I mean, it makes sense. They're short, like 10 minutes each, usually. Perfect for our, shrinking attention spans. And you can watch them on your phone. Plus, they're cheaper to make.
And it's not just about views. iQIYI said they made serious money from their short-form content last December, over $140,000.
That's a good chunk of change. And think about it, for individual creators, it might actually be more profitable than, trying to get those traditional deals.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with the whole TikTok, YouTube Shorts thing. Short-form is here to stay, and it's changing how we create and consume entertainment. So I'm curious, are you a fan of short-form content? What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it has its place, right? Some things are just better told in a short format.
Okay, now things are about to get interesting. Let's talk AI and entertainment. This article, Brandon Baum's Studio B launches AI dating show Heartwired on YouTube is wild. AI dating show.
I know, right? Even dating shows aren't safe. AI is coming for everything.
Seriously, though, AI has the potential to change everything about entertainment, personalize content, automate tasks, maybe even generate ideas.
Yeah. It's exciting, but it also brings up some big questions about, creativity. Is it authentic? And what's the role of human artists going forward?
Some people think that AI could actually make filmmaking more accessible, give more people the tools to create. Like, maybe it's not about replacing human creativity, but kind of boosting it.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I think the key is using it ethically. So it's more about enhancing creativity and not, just replacing it altogether.
And then you have this studio, they say they can make films for way cheaper using AI. The article's called Divergent Producer Launches AI Studio to Create Films for $500,000. It definitely shakes things up, but is it still art? Can AI really capture that human touch?
It's a good question, but I think, even with all this technology, at the end of the day, it's still about the story.
Exactly. A good story can come from anywhere, like this new Jamaican Noir thriller, Get Millie Black. It's created by Marlon James. He's a Booker Prize winner, so the writing's going to be amazing.
I've heard about that one. It's supposed to be really, really good, exploring, all these complex themes, the legacy of colonialism, family dynamics, what it means to be Jamaican.
Wow, and it's interesting how a story like that, gritty and real, can be just as captivating as something like, well, a documentary about octopuses.
We'll get to those octopuses later, I promise.
Uh-huh, yeah. Okay, let's talk about how celebrities are changing the game. This article, the Creator X Media Formula EAF, is all about how celebrities are moving beyond just endorsing things. They're becoming investors, entrepreneurs.
It's like George Clooney, Ryan Reynolds, they've built empires. They're not just slapping their faces on products anymore. They're becoming stakeholders.
Right, it's not just about the money. They're taking ownership. They want creative control, a share of the profits. It's a real power shift.
Yeah, and I think this could be a really good thing for creators, giving them more control over their work.
So what does this mean for the future of entertainment? What happens when celebrity influence and, actual ownership are so intertwined? What are your thoughts?
It's definitely something to watch. I mean, who's really controlling the stories we see? And how much are those stories influenced by money? It's something we all need to be aware of.
Right, right. Okay, let's move on to some individual projects that caught our eye.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this one sounds really cool. It's a folk horror movie called Zoe Chow Stars in Peto's folk horror indie, The True Beauty of Being Bitten by a Tick.
Ooh, folk horror. I feel like that's having a moment right now.
Yeah, and this one, it's by this director Peto's and Jeremy O. Harris, who's a playwright who likes to push the envelope. It's their third film together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's the first one from Harris's new production company, BBU, and it just came out at South by Southwest.
Okay, so brand new, and what's it about?
So it's about this woman who's grieving, and then she gets bitten by a tick, and it like sends her into this spiral of paranoia.
Oh, that's creepy. I'm already kind of creeped out just thinking about ticks.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense, but it's, I guess a tick bite's a pretty good metaphor for like, grief and paranoia.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like something small that gets under your skin and then it takes over.
Exactly. Speaking of unexpected narratives, remember that octopus documentary?
Oh, yeah. Prime Video orders Octopus documentary from Jigsaw Productions and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Wells Street. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a collaboration between Alex Gibney's Jigsaw Productions and Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Wells Street Films.
So top-notch production value.
Yeah, they're going to be showing all these new scientific discoveries about octopuses. All their crazy abilities, how smart they are, their behavior, all that stuff.
It's wild. Like, we're just scratching the surface with these creatures, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that there are so many amazing stories out there just waiting to be told, and sometimes they're right in front of us, literally. Yeah. Speaking of stories, there's this news that Crazy Rich Asians, that movie from 2018, they're making it into a TV series for Max.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so in the article, Jon M. Chu's upcoming Crazy Rich Asians TV series.
So are they going to continue the story from the movie, or is it like a spin-off or something?
It sounds like they're going to explore more of the characters, the storylines from the books that the movie didn't really get into.
Okay, so kind of digging deeper. I mean, I guess that makes sense. There's a whole trilogy of books, right?
Yeah, they have a lot to work with. Okay, now, not all stories are, sunshine and roses. There are, there's a lot of challenges in the entertainment industry, too. And this article, Courtney Hansen's Ride of Your Life faces payment dispute amid TV production challenges, really highlights that.
Yeah, that's never good. What happened?
So this show, Ride of Your Life, it's hosted by this woman, Courtney Hansen, and it's basically in the middle of this huge payment dispute. Yeah, both Hansen's company and this other company, Bad Burrito Productions, they're basically blaming each other for not paying the people who worked on post-production.
Oh, wow.
And apparently an editor's filed a claim, and like 20 other people haven't been paid.
That's awful. I mean, it's a tough reminder that even with all the, the glamour and stuff, it's still a business,
Yeah. And, production costs are going up, and it makes you think, like, are the systems we have sustainable?
Right. How do we make sure everyone gets paid fairly, especially the people behind the scenes?
And speaking of, people behind the scenes, this next article, UK producer World Media Rights, set to close following death of founder, it's kind of a sad one.
Oh, no. What happened?
So this company, World Media Rights, they're known for their documentaries, factual programming.
Yeah.
And they're shutting down because the founder, Alan Griffiths, passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it makes you think about the impact that just one person can have on the industry.
Yeah, their legacy.
Exactly. But on a more positive note, there are some cool initiatives out there to support new talent. This one is called Vimeo Launches Short Film Grant in partnership with Nikon and Arvisen, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're giving 5 filmmakers $30,000 each to make short films.
Wow.
And the winners also get mentored by, people in the industry and get to use top-of-the-line equipment from Nikon and RD.
That's amazing. A real opportunity for up-and-coming filmmakers.
Yeah, it's great to see programs like that, nurturing creativity.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, short form content. Vimeo is not just saying it's important, they're actually, putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly. And then there's Norway. They're trying to attract international productions with their incentive program.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're offering up to like 25% back to productions that film there. It's a big draw for filmmakers, beautiful locations, lower costs.
Plus, it helps boost their local film industry.
Yeah, win-win for everyone. Okay, this next one sounds intense. It's a movie called Martin Scorsese, producing Wall of White Avalanche Survivor Tale, Convergence Entertainment to finance.
Scorsese's producing? I mean, that already sounds like super cinematic.
Yeah, and it's a true story about, surviving an avalanche, so it's going to be like edge of your seat stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a reminder that sometimes, real life is crazier than anything you can make up.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's talk about some casting news. There's this movie, Aaron Paul, Luke Evans, and Daniel Zavato join Russell Crowe in Bear Country. That sounds pretty action-packed.
It was a good cast.
Yeah, it's got Russell Crowe as like this older club owner who gets caught up in a bunch of crime and revenge stuff.
Classic thriller setup.
Yeah, and then you have Aaron Paul, Luke Evans, Daniel Zavato. Like, they all bring something unique to the table.
Yeah, I can see this one being a hit.
Me too. Okay, now for some sad news. Disney's Tiana series shelved.
Oh, no, that was in development, right?
Yeah, they haven't said why, but
yeah,
it's not happening anymore. It's a bummer. Tiana's such an important character.
Yeah, and it just goes to show not every story gets told.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But on a brighter note, the BBC is still killing it with their nature documentaries.
They do those so well.
Yeah, they're launching 2 new series on YouTube, In Search of Nature and Framed in Nature.
Okay, so making it accessible to everyone. Smart move.
Yeah, it's awesome footage of wildlife, landscapes, from all over the world. They're really leveraging YouTube to connect with a global audience.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a good nature documentary?
Exactly. Okay, this one sounds really cool. It's a series called Hearst Network's EMEA Commission's 2 Sides of History.
Okay, what's the premise?
So it's a 5-part digital series, and it's going to be airing on a bunch of platforms. Sky History, History Play, YouTube, even TikTok and Facebook.
Wow, so they're really trying to reach a wide audience.
Yeah, and it's all about looking at historical events from different perspectives. It's a really interesting way to present history, make it engaging and accessible.
Yeah, I like that. Not just the one-sided version of things.
Exactly. Okay, a break from history. This next one is all about relaxation and pampering. iTV commissions Katie Piper's Weekend Escape. Sounds pretty delightful.
Oh, sounds nice.
It's 22 episodes, and it's basically Katie Piper, who's a writer and activist. She's at this luxury retreat in the British countryside with different celebrity guests each week.
Okay, so like a spa getaway kind of thing?
Yeah, they're doing spa treatments, healthy activities, just chilling out.
I could use some of that right now.
Me too. It's all about promoting well-being and self-care. And it seems like people are really drawn to that kind of content.
Yeah, it makes sense. We all need a break sometimes.
For sure. Okay, now back to the thrills. Glass River partners with Nicholas Weinstock and Mark Lorber on Masquerade. Sounds like a pretty cool mystery series.
Oh, tell me more.
So it's set in Iceland, and it's about this young American reporter who's investigating this decades-old abduction case in this tiny Icelandic village.
Ooh, intriguing.
Yeah, it's a collaboration between this Icelandic production company, Glass River, and then Nicholas Weinstock's company, Invention Studios, and Mark Lorber's The Art of Co-Production. So it's like an international team effort.
Yeah, I always love when different countries collaborate on these projects.
Yeah, it brings a really unique perspective. Okay, now for something completely different. Mermaid teaser. Johnny Pemberton stars in Tyler Cornack's horror comedy. This one, I don't even know where to begin.
Sounds interesting.
It's about this lonely drug addict in Fiona who makes friends with a mermaid.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah, it's got Kevin Nealon and Tom Arnold in it, too.
Okay.
And the director's known for his really weird, absurdist humor.
So definitely not your typical mermaid story.
Yeah, not your typical anything, I think. Okay, so moving on. The French film industry is getting a huge boost thanks to Canal plus Cap.
That's great news.
Yeah, it's part of this agreement. It's in this article called Canal Plus Group invests 480 million in French film industry following agreement with guilds. And basically, Canal Plus keeps the exclusive rights to broadcast the movies 6 months after they come out in theaters in France.
So it's like a big investment in French cinema.
Exactly. It's really going to help preserve that,
Right.
that unique voice that French cinema has.
Yeah, it's important to support local film industries, I think.
For sure. Okay, now for a project that's a little closer to home, George Lopez and Truly Original collaborate on Charlie Murphy documentary.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be about Charlie Murphy's life, his career as a comedian, actor.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
And George Lopez is involved, so you know it's going to be like a really personal, heartfelt look at Charlie Murphy.
It's a great way to honor his memory.
Exactly. Okay, now for little kids' entertainment, there's this new brand called Toonsy. It's from this digital studio, The Soul Publishing. Yeah, the article is called Digital Studio Publishing Launches Kids Video Brand Toonsy.
What kind of content are they making?
So it's going to be educational and entertaining for kids.
Yeah.
The Soul Publishing is already really good at making viral content, so they're kind of branching out.
Makes sense. I mean, kids' content is huge online.
Yeah, it's a smart move. Okay, now let's talk about Max. They're expanding their global reach. They're launching in Turkey.
Oh, wow. Where are they now? I feel like they're everywhere.
I know, right? This article, Max to launch in Turkey on April 15 in partnership with Blue TV, says they're partnering with this Turkish streaming service, Blue TV.
So they're kind of teaming up with a local company. Smart.
Yeah, it gives them access to the Turkish market, and Blue TV has the local expertise.
It's all about, global domination for these streaming services.
Yeah. And then you have the rise of Turkish dramas, which is really interesting. There's this channel called DZI, and they're launching a dedicated Romanian feed. Yeah, it's in this article. SBI International launches Romanian feed for DZI.
Why Romanian specifically?
It seems like Turkish dramas are getting really popular in Romania.
Oh, okay. So catering to a niche audience.
Exactly. It's all about understanding what people want,
Yeah, give the people what they want.
And speaking of giving people what they want, there's this talent show, must be the music, that's making a comeback in Poland.
Oh, I've heard of that show.
Yeah, it's a classic format, people showcasing their musical talents. It's been successful all over the world.
Yeah, talent shows, they never really go out of style.
For sure. And then over in the UK, Hunted and Celebrity Hunted, they're coming back for more.
Oh, I love those shows. They're so suspenseful.
Yeah, they've been doing really well, especially with younger audiences.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's that whole, trying to outsmart the hunters, staying off the grid. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they come up with for the new seasons.
Okay, remember how we were talking about AI earlier? Well, this next article really dives into how AI could change filmmaking. It's called Divergent. Producer launches AI studio to create films for $500,000.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
So this producer, Puya Shabazian, he's known for Divergent, he's launched this company called Staircase Studios AI.
Okay, so like a full-on AI film studio. Interesting.
Yeah, and their goal is to make like studio quality films, but for under $500,000.
That's a lot less than what they usually cost.
Exactly, and they're using their own AI system called Forward Motion.
Hmm.
And they've already got a teaser out for their first film, The Woman with Red Hair.
So they're really going for it.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big conversation starter.
It's going to be interesting to see what people think of the final product, Like, is it going to feel different from a regular movie?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, now for a project that's a little more, traditional, Shogun star Cosmo Jarvis joins Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, with filming underway in Morocco.
Oh, Nolan's doing The Odyssey. That's ambitious.
I know, right? And they're filming in Morocco, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And they just added Cosmo Jarvis to the cast.
Oh, wow. So it's a big production.
Yeah, Nolan always goes big.
Yeah.
And The Odyssey is like such a classic, epic story.
I can't wait to see what he does with it. He's such a visionary director.
Okay, now for something a little lighter, Jesse Armstrong's HBO movie casts Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, and more. Sounds like it's going to be hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Jesse Armstrong, he created Succession, right?
Yeah, he's a really sharp writer. And this movie's about, like, billionaires and all their, their drama.
Sounds like ripe material for a satire.
Yeah, and with Steve Carell and Jason Schwartzman, it's going to be funny.
Oh, absolutely. They're both so good at that kind of, dry humor.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Okay, now for some good news for Australian documentaries. Screen Australia puts $1 into 8 local docs, including Crowded House Rockumentary.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Screen Australia, which is, a government agency, they're giving money to 8 different documentary projects.
So supporting local filmmakers, I love that.
Yeah, and one of them is a rockumentary about Crowded House.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really important to have that, that support from the government to help these stories get made.
It makes a big difference.
Speaking of diverse stories, the cast of this FX show, Alien Earth, is getting bigger.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. It's the one set in the future, right?
Yeah, it's set in 2120.
Okay, and what's happening with the cast?
So they've added like 11 new actors, including Richa Morjani and Enzo Salenti. They're going to be in guest roles.
Oh, cool. So they're really building out the world.
Yeah, it's all about, corporate power, technology, and what happens when humans meet aliens. It sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, Alien is such a classic franchise. It's cool that they're still finding new ways to explore it.
Yeah, it shows how strong the original concept is.
Yeah, it really shows you how strong that idea is, the whole alien thing. It's like people are still fascinated by it. But, we've talked about a lot today, changes in the industry, specific projects, all that stuff. But there's this one theme that keeps popping up, and that's choice.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, like in this world where there's so much information, so much entertainment, we're not just sitting back and taking whatever's thrown at us. We actually get to choose what we watch, what we listen to, what we experience.
We have options.
Exactly. And that comes with, a certain responsibility, I think. Like, we need to be aware of who we're supporting, what messages we're spreading, what values we're reinforcing with our choices.
That's a really good point. So, when you're looking at all this entertainment, all these choices, there are some questions you can ask yourself.
Yeah, what are they?
Like, what stories really connect with me? Whose voices do I want to hear? What kind of impact do I want my choices to have?
Yeah, those are good questions.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to try something new. Step outside your comfort zone. Check out different genres, stories from different cultures. You might be surprised what you discover.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought. If what we watch, what we enjoy, if that's a reflection of who we are, what does your watch list say about you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Something to think about.
Definitely. Well, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
And until next time, keep exploring.